Hi and welcome back. So in the last video we said something about control flow and we also hinted on condition statements. Now in this video we want to look at the if statement. Now basically this is a statement that is only executed if whatever is in here. Okay, let me clear out everything. This is executed if the statement that is in here is true. If this statement is not true, then whatever is in here, the code that you have inside here will not be executed. So in a moment, we are going to see an example. So just a recap of the condition. The condition, as the name suggests, is a statement that is executed if a certain condition is met. So this is just a control of how a program is executed. So you can say, if this is true, do this, or else do something else. So we're going to see the else as well in the coming videos and the else if in the coming videos. So for this one, let's start by looking at the if, and we want to see if x is equal to a certain number, then do something here. And we're also going to see if x is not equal to that number, if this statement is going to get executed. So I'm going to do an example with C++, just like we've done in the previous examples. So if I come back to id1.com, I want to do an example whereby x is equals to a certain number, and we'll say that if x is equals to that number, then do the statement that is within the if block. So I know in the past examples I've not explained exactly what this C++ code, what each line actually does. So let me write out the code of the if else and then of the if, and then we're going to at least go through this just to know what they are. So I'll start with the if. So I'll say if, first of all, let's declare an integer int x, and we can give it an initial value of maybe 10. So let's just say if x is equals to 10, and at this point I just want to, if x is equals to 10, I want to output something that says x is 10. Actually, because it is just one line, I can put it here. And then I want to say x is 10. So you can see, because this is one line, I can put it here without using the curly braces. Or I can put it down here and add the curly braces. So the purpose of an if statement is to make sure that a certain condition is met, and then whatever lines you have of code will be in here. So this is just a very simple example, but you may want to use this for a more complex example. So this is the structure of a C++ program. So this one up here, the one that has this hash pound, what this does is it includes a file for the C++ preprocessor. So if you go to compile this is a directive to the compiler to include this file. So any time you see this hash in front of anything, this is something that is an instruction to something called a preprocessor, which is inside of a compiler. So that will do the directive that it is given. We also have another one that is called define, which can be used for defining something like a constant, but just so you know, this one will include that for the preprocessor, and the compiler will add this file. And then using namespace std, this one, what it does, this one basically enables me to avoid writing something like if I come down here and I was to do a cout, I would have to write std like that, and who wants to write this all the time? So for me to avoid writing this all the time, I just say up here, you'd say using namespace std to avoid me from using this. So when you start learning C++, you'll see that in the first examples, you're probably going to come across them you're going to come across examples that have the cout like this and the cin like this and other commands like this. So the int main, this is a function. This is essentially a full function, and we're going to look at functions later on. So here, int main, this is a function. The main function that is usually run in a C++ program is the main function. So you can write your functions everywhere, but in the end, you're going to call them in the int main. This is the main function. This is a function that is actually run and where all the action happens, where everything is brought together, and whatever the program is supposed to do will be done inside the main function. So coming back to our if statement, so this is an if block, and we can say if x is 10, then cout x is 10. Then I can also copy this and just paste it down here. Oh, I haven't said this one. This one is a comment. So a comment is just a way for you to know what's going on. It doesn't do anything, it just helps you comment. So maybe if I want to add another comment here, I can say my first if statement. So the good thing about a comment is if you come back to your code, maybe in future you will know what you were trying to do, because if you look at your code later on, most of the times you'll just get confused even if you're the one who wrote it. So it's always good to write comments, and we're going to look at something a bit more about comments later on. So in this case, we've said if x is equals to 10, and please note that we're using the double equal sign, which equalizes, what is it called, a comparison. So this is a comparison. If I use the one equals, this is an assignment. So let's say here x is equals to 20, x is equals to 30, x is 10. So we are going to see which of this is going to get run. So if I run this, so you can see we have a compilation error, and this is due to, this is a syntax error. So we're also going to look at errors later on, and a syntax error is due to something that is missing here, that, and that. So the purpose of this is to end the line, to terminate this line so that the next line can begin. So if we run this one more time, you'll see that the result we're given is x is 10. So if I come here and I change x to 30, and then I run this, oh, actually, let me change this one. X is 30. And then we see if it's going to run x, this condition is true, or this one is true. So if we run that, you'll see the result that we're given is x is 30. So the if statement will evaluate the thing that you put in here, and then it will run the code that is within the if block. If this statement is false, then the entire thing will get skipped and this code will not get run. So I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to continue with the if else, and we're going to see how we can do this without using two if statements. See you then.